Hello, Tig Lipton here with Tough Lip Productions. Today we're going to talk about boiling strings. Now, why would you want to boil your bass strings or guitar strings? It can save you money, prolongs the length of string life. So what happens is all the dirt and oil and stuff in your hands gets caught on your bass strings and it reduces the resonance, which means they ring less clear. You lose some high end. So here's high end. Here's you're losing a bit of high end. Sounds like a little bit like that. So when players have been using their strings for, I don't know, 4 months or however long, depends on how long you use your bass, you'll have to go out and buy new strings, especially for recording. So people who are on a budget will often boil their strings, and what this involves is just throwing your strings in a pot of boiling water, letting it boil till all the goo of your fingers comes off in the water, and you get the strings in, you wipe them down with a tissue. So what this video is to see if it's worth your while to boil your strings. I'm going to do some examples using fingers, pleck, a tiny bit of cheeky slap, and a little bit of overdrive. And I'll do the same again after I've boiled the strings. And you can have a listen to hear if you think it's worth your while. So we're doing all pro gear. We got a Fender Jazz bass. We got an RE20, that's a microphone, into a budget Ashdown bass, into a Neve 1073 mic pre. So we're going for a studio-esque sound. Now I have been rushing with the sounds and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see how the sounds are. Really, bass tones, you really have to get them in the context of the mix. And I'm gonna stop making excuses and just play now. So here's some pleck. A bit of fingers. Slap. A little bit of overdrive. Oh, we'll check the high frequencies as well. And fingers. And a bit of overdrive. Fingers. Pleck. Slap. Okay, so next clip is boiling the strings, and I'll see you back here in a few minutes. So for boiling the bass strings, boil a kettle and pour it into a pot. Let the water boil and put the strings in. Let some time pass while the water is boiling, maybe 5 minutes will do. On my strings, there's color-coded rings at the end of the strings, and the paint from this came off, which gave me an indication that they were boiled. There's a lot of scum on the top of the water, lots of dirt, and that was the finger residue on top of the water there. Then after this, I emptied the water and wiped the strings down firmly with a tissue, and a lot of the dirt was left on the tissue. The next process, which I'll talk about now, was putting the strings back on. So just some notes on putting the strings back on. Just make sure you're lifting up the strings while you're winding them. Keep tension on it, because you don't want loose tension here and here, because it will cause the strings to slip out of tune. And then once you have your strings all wound up, just put a bit of pressure here to make sure the tension is even across the string, whether it's behind the bridge and behind the nut, because what can happen is it's not as tense or tight behind the nut, and then as the tension even ends, your bass will keep going out of tune. Now, I record a lot of bands, and the first thing I tell them to do when I'm on the phone to them is change your strings, get fresh new strings. And I don't want to change your ideas. The idea of this video was to have for you to make up your own mind. So I'll probably put the section at the end of the video on whether it's a good idea or not. But to my ears, very, very good, very clean, lovely, sparkly tone. So we'll do the full comparison now. Um, so I'll do the same soundtrack. Okay, here we go. So this is with the Plek. Bit of finger style. Slap. Overdrive. More fingers. Slap. Okay, so in conclusion, what we've covered today is how the bass sounds before and after with some without the Plek, with the Plek, a little bit of slap, although I don't know how often you're going to be using slap. How to change the strings. Oh yeah, it's a great idea to when you change your strings to well, what I personally do is I get a plectrum and a bit of tissue and rub it all here to get all the dirt off. Now, a very famous guitarist called Van Halen thinks that the oil in your hands is the best possible oil you can use on guitars. And that's why he doesn't have varnish on the back of his guitar necks when he sells them, so all the natural oil in your hands can go in. So maybe you want to rub the finger oil into the fretboard. I don't know. Just something to think about. So if there's any other videos you'd like me to take care of, where it's changing the strings, or maybe the same one on guitars, or maybe you've seen something on my other videos that you think would be a good video, like I'll have a shot up of different pedals, and I'm going to do a new series of guitar pedals on bass, which I'm really excited about. Maybe you want to say, oh, I want to try this pedal on bass, or something like that. So you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, all that social media stuff, toughlipproductions.com. Like and share if you enjoyed.